day is going amazing because mine sure is. Today we're going to be talking about a hook kick, a spin hook kick, and a jump spin hook kick. You may know these by a couple of different names. A spinning back kick, a spinning heel kick. No matter what, we're going to be going through all of them. We're going to be talking about what makes a hook kick unique to Taekwondo, while we go through different drills and teaching you how to do the kick. Now, if you just want to learn how to do the hook kick today and practice the hook kick, about halfway through this whole class, you can stop it and you can move forward with your life. However, if you guys want to learn all the way up to that jump spin hook kick, I advise you, start with the hook, go to the spin hook, and then get into the jump spin hook. Don't skip the middle parts because it's going to hurt your learning. With all that being said, let's get started. To get started, before we even start learning how to do the kicks, I want to talk about why these kicks are special and unique to Taekwondo. Now, hook kicks are in a lot of different martial arts. A spin hook kick is in a lot of different martial arts. The thing that makes it very uniquely Taekwondo when we do it is how we chamber and how we're able to get a mass amount of spinning or rotational energy before we pop out and hit the kick. If you've ever seen an Olympic Taekwondo match, you know how dangerous these kicks are. Even if you go all around the martial arts world, you'll hear about Taekwondo spin hook kicks. So with that being said, let's get started on the starting block of all those spin and jump spin hook kicks, the hook kick. Before we learn the advanced iterations of this kick, we must learn the basic kick where it comes from. We're going to be breaking down the hook kick and all its many elements. Before we get started, I need to talk about one of the most important things in any Taekwondo kick, my plant foot. Now, we're going to do a drill real fast to show you why I need to place my plant foot backwards. I would like you to choose one leg. I don't care which leg it is, but choose one leg and lift it up to the side. Feel free to lean your body over and see if you can touch your toe. Now don't bring your leg all the way over here. Keep it in line with your other foot. What you're going to notice is it doesn't feel great. And even if it does feel, okay, natural, you can't raise it powerfully without falling over. I suggest you don't do that. You don't want to hurt yourself. The reason why this doesn't feel great is because as I lean backwards, my knee can't bend. My knee does not bend this way. It has some wiggle room, but it does not bend. My knee bends in the natural position where it's going over your toes. So for me to properly lean and have balance on this kick higher without having crazy flexibility, I need to place my plant foot away so I can naturally bend my knee over my toe and get my center of gravity over my toe as well. I can lean back. So, try it a couple of times. Turn your plant foot, lean back. Try it again, and one more time. Now, to get into the next portion, we need to talk about our chamber. Our chamber is a lot like another kick we already know in Taekwondo, the side kick. In the side kick, I need to turn my knee and heel sideways and preferably tuck my knee into my chest. So as I go from my plant foot shifting into my chamber, my knee wants to come in. Again, if I don't do that plant foot and I try to bring my knee into my chest, it's not going to be balanced. Now, let's get to the kick. Now, the kick is what makes this unique, right? If we're chambering like a side kick, what makes a hook kick a hook kick? The kick, right? Now, this kick shares something in common with a crescent kick. The kick isn't an initial strike, but the drag across after the strike. Now, on a crescent kick, my shoulder goes ahead of my hip, knee, and heel, so I can whip it across faster. When I do that, my foot's going to be up and down. However, on my hook kicks, my hip, knee, and shoulder and heel should all be in one line. So as my shoulder moves across the center, so should my hip, so should my heel. So try this out. Don't do your kick. You can turn your plant foot. Just move it across here and keep all four of these things, all three of the things in one line. If one goes ahead, I'm no longer doing my hook kick. Remember, I'm doing a side kick to start. I want to keep that straight line that I'm creating. So I turn my plant foot, I chamber like a side kick, I hit, and I bring around. The final thing is my rechamber. My rechamber is going to be a lot like a round kick. I'm going to tuck my heel back into my body. So I'm not bringing my knee back in. I'm keeping my knee out and just tucking my heel. So all together, I turn my plant foot, bring my knee in, hook, rechamber for a round kick, step down. One more time. Final time. And down. If you need to work on this kick and you want to slow this down before we get into our drills, go for it. May I suggest a slide into it. So instead of 1, 2 and lifting, good for flexibility, slide your heel into the center of your foot before you kick. All right, now let's get into some hook kick drills. Now I have 2 drills for you here today. One that will work on getting your technique down really, really well, and one that you can use to help improve your slide up hook kicks in sparring. First, let's start on the technique one. We're going to start on the ground. Feel free to do a side fall down. I'm going to prop myself up and do a 5 to 10 second hook kick. If you're a white, yellow, and orange belt, maybe a purple, green, and blue belt, I suggest closer to 5 seconds. Trust me, they're going to add up. If you're closer to brown and red belt or black belt, it should be closer to 10 seconds. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to count to 5 as I slowly go through the kick in a consistent motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to do this 5 times. So if I have a 10 seconds, I can still do this, but my reps are going to be 5 times. Once I get that done 5 times, I'm going to move on to my knee and do the same kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I know that sounds relatively easy, but when you start to go through these, your hips are going to cramp up and you're going to build up that muscle strength while building up some amazing technique. Once I'm done with my knees, I'm going to go to standing. Standing. Now, if you want to elongate the drill a little bit, you can grab a chair to hold on to it, do 5 seconds or 10 seconds that way, and then do it without a chair. Or, you got this down pretty well, you can skip the chair altogether and go into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, you switch legs and you do it all over again. So that's your first drill. You should have 5 reps on each leg from laying down, knees, and standing. And the seconds are up to you, but preferably try to stick with your belt rank level. Trust me, if you're a white, yellow, and orange belt, you do not want to do 10 seconds. It's not going to feel great afterwards. The next drill we're going to work on is speeding this up and having it a little bit more useful in sparring. I call this step-by-step hook kicks. So here's how it works, or step-by-step kicking. I am going to have my opponent here. If you have a partner, you can have them standing there, and they can just freeze in their guarding stance. They can shuffle back and forth, whatever they want to do, but you're going to have something that you can imaginarily picture, or really picture. The first thing I'm going to do is just to slide up, slide my heel in, and come back. That's your first step. Then I'm going to add the second step. Slide, chamber, down. Then I'm going to add the third step. Slide, chamber, kick, down. Then I'm going to add the fourth step, and the fourth is optional for all you rock stars out there. I'm going to add a follow-up or a kick. So, if your follow-up is a hook kick, jab, cross, that's fine. If your follow-up is continuing off the hook kick into a round kick, that's fine too. But I'm going to add the follow-up. So, I'm going to do each one of those steps 10 times. Now, you can break this down. You can break down the steps however you want. You can do this 10 times. And then move on to doing this 10 times. Or you can go step by step by step and then do that whole section 10 times. Going 1, 2, 3, but you're going to break down the kick step by step, both your right and left leg. If you have your partner, they can slide away when they see you come. They can counter however they would like, or you can just have a dummy bag, just stand there like this. Really, you just want to picture yourself hitting in the same location every time. Precision is important. Those are our drills for our hook kicks. If you found this relatively easy, may I suggest you move on to the next part of this video, which is spin hook kicks. If any part of this is hard, go back and re-go through it. Relearn your hook kick, redo the drills, and then come back. If you don't know a hook kick, you can't do a spin hook kick. Alright, now it's time for the part you've probably been waiting for, the spin hook kick. Now I'm going to talk about learning the spin hook kick and doing drills with the spin hook kick in the same section here. Now with the hook kicks, you can learn how to do a hook kick and then do those drills rather successfully, but if you're learning how to do a spin hook kick, I suggest you take the time to practice it. Do the sections of the spin hook kick before you start to do these crazy drills running through and spinning as fast as you can. If you don't have this kick down solid, you shouldn't be doing it at full pace. With that being said, let's get started. Let me first talk about something that you see in every turning or spinning kick, which is the initial turn or rotation into it. I'm going to be doing this sideways. Feel free to shift yourself to do this forward or backwards. I'm going into my guarding stance, I'm facing this way. The first thing I should always do on every turning or spinning kick is show my heel to my opponent. If I don't do that, this front hip can't rotate around. I know it feels like kind of a giveaway, but when we start to do these really, really fast, this is such a quick motion into the other things that they won't even notice before you hit them. So, practice this a couple of times. This is part of your drills. Practice staying here, there. If you have this down, start in a kickboxing stance, start in a wider stance, and rotate into it. If you're more of a Taekwondo martial artist, start here, rotate into it. Practice that snap. And the second part of the snap that I just showed you, let this heel show to your opponent, let this other foot follow. 1, 2. If you want to do this slowly, 1, 2, and then center your center of gravity, center your chest over your knee. Just like how we did our regular hook kick, we want to be centered here, so I'm able to rotate and kick higher without being crazy flexible. So practice the snap, do it 5 to 10 times, work on setting it up, rotating, and coming back. Now that we got that initial snap, we're going to go into our hook kick. Before we start to rotate and hit, I want you to grab a chair. On my refoldable chair right here. The kick, or the leg you want to kick with, I want you to put in front. I want you to practice this motion. Chamber like you're going to do a hook kick. Do your hook kick, but instead of stepping down, bring it all the way back around. Put it in front, hook and around. Again, up in front, 1, 2, down. Finally, I go again, here. Practice this until it's smooth. I'm not giving you a number. If you can do this first shot, you got it down, you can move on to this next section. However, if you can't do this smooth, it ends up looking something like this. And it's really clunky and it feels hard on your hips. You need to practice this section more. If you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do a full spin hook kick. Don't kid yourself. So let's get to the next section. Some people, you may have hopped right into it. This could be 30 minutes later for others. Here, I snap. From here, I'm going to do what I just did, but over the chair. I'm going to bring my knee up, kick, come around. Yes, that's our full spin hook kick, but we're not starting from a guarding stance here, we're starting here. Even if you've done this a million times, practice going from this spot, hitting around and coming down. Again, all I'm doing is what I just did, right? The hook kick, spin around. This is a really great drill to do, especially know hook kicks well. This is going to help build up your speed and build up your power. So often when you get good at spin hook kicks, you rely on just your rotational energy to hit hard. The problem with that is as you get better and better, yes, you can hit hard, but you'll never be able to hit the kick. Because one, you don't know how to use your hips properly. Two, you don't know where you're kicking. So, do this a couple more times, 10 times, until it feels smooth, but at least 10 times. Now we're ready to do the full kick. Starting here in our guarding, switching back, hook kicking around. My suggestion is start this slow and go faster and faster and faster. Do this 10 times. One time, the first time slowly, each time speeding up. So your first time may be that fast, but then your last time is full pace. When you get done with one leg, go to the other. Just like with all the other drills. Now finally, my favorite drill, our hook kick, step and spin hook kick. This one you won't need the chair for. If you got your hook kick down well on both sides, you've done all the drills leading up to this point, you've learned your spin hook kick well, you should be able to do this one really, really well. If not, you're going to struggle with it quite a bit. I would like you to find a line. Now it can be any line, but something that you can see forward. If you don't have a line in your house, get some duct tape, tape it on some concrete, put on some shoes and go outside. Here's the drill. I'm going to do a spin hook kick, and I'll go on this line even though it's a little bit over. Land on the line. Then I'm going to step in, spin hook kick, land on the line. You should be able to do these step and spin hook kicks and never fall off that line if you got this kicked out. Controlled and fast. So you're going to be going down the line doing these spin hook kicks. If you step off, it means you're missing a very large element of your kick. You're either bending in the wrong spots, you're bending forward, or you just don't have the technique well down enough. So that's your ultimate test. If you can do that test, go all the way down the line, 10 meters without falling off, move on to your jump spin hook kicks. All right, now we're on to the final kick of this rotation, the jump spin hook kick. Now, I recently had some leg injuries, so I'm not going to be able to jump as high as I can on this kick. Hopefully, you're going to be able to jump up to the ceiling and do this, but if you too are not very flexible or have other injuries in your knees, hips, hamstrings, my suggestion is to take this kick slow. I'm going to show you how to do it no matter who you are. With that being said, with the more flexible and the more capable you are, it changes this kick a little bit. You're going to be able to get more height and execute this kick at a better technical perspective. So, if you're one of those people, go for it. I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're not one of those people, that's fine. I'm with you. You're going to take this kick slowly. So first, let me talk about the difference between a spin hook kick and a jump spin hook. You jump. You jump. That's the difference. Now, there's always a little bit more to it than that, but understand that every advanced technique that we do, stemming from that basic kick, hook, spin hook, jump spin hook, is literally just an add-on to what you did, right? Same thing with turnings and jumps and flying kicks, right? You're just taking that original kick and then adding that extra element. If you know what the add-ons mean and what they do and how they change your kick, you could do a kick you've never heard of before by just adding on to that basic kick. So let's talk about how you do a jump kick from a turn or from a spin. So first things first, we're going to set ourselves up just like what we did before. 1, 2, that's snap, right? I'm going to have my knee over my chest. Now this next element is where it gets a little bit more difficult. Because it's not just a jump. I need to jump, but make sure my center of gravity is over a leg. Since this is the leg that's kicking, when I leap, I have nothing down in front of me. So unless I'm able to jump, spin, and kick all in one motion before I land, then I'm going to fall on the ground. Again, if you are technical, you are young and athletic, even if you're old and athletic, you may be able to jump, rotate here, do this motion, jump, kick, land, and you don't have to do this next step. However, just doing a jump, spin, hook kick, right? However, if you're not at that spot, here's what I want you to practice. Bend your knees, jump, and switch your feet. So my foot's here, I'm jumping, putting this foot up, this foot back. Work on that motion a couple of times. I'm going to do this one today. I'm going to try the other one. We'll see how it works out. But I'm going to do this one today because I'm not confident in myself being able to jump, spin, and land. Executing everything I need to on the kick and landing before my foot touches the ground. So I'm going to jump and put my body there. Now, we're going to do the full kick and I want you to take it slow. Even if you have this kick down run. Rotate, jump and switch, hook kick, spin around. This is your safety precaution. This is also for if somebody's charging you. If somebody's getting close and I'm not able to fully extend, this is going to move my kick slightly back before I come around. 1, 2, switch feet, kick. Now let me give you the second version. The second version is I'm going to jump, spin, and hook kick. Jump up, spin, and throw the kick all at once. If you're feeling like you're capable of doing this, let me break down a couple of things that can help you. First things first, the most important part about this jump, spin, hook kick is your hips turning. Practice going here, bending your knees, jumping and snapping. Now, jump, snap, 180, jump, snap to your spot, then a jump, snap, 360. If you can do the jump, snap, 360, throwing your hips around, then start to chamber your knee. Don't do the kick, but chamber. I'm here, I bend, snap, chamber, land. Again, land. Now a full kick. Once I jump and I switch my hips, when I go to this 180 spot, I'm going to shoot my leg out and let the motion carry me. Little fun fact about air and physics. The second you jump up and you're in the air, I can rotate my body to increase my spin. I can spread out my body to slow down my spin, but I cannot change forces. Meaning I can't jump this way and then halfway in the air decide, I actually want to go that way. I can slow down myself going forward. I can speed myself up going forward, but I can't change directions. That's important because when I do this kick, if I decide halfway through I don't want to do this, too bad. Always commit to your jump kicks, because if you don't, that's your biggest cause for injury. I'm going to jump, rotate, spin, and kick. Work on that hip rotation, speed yourself in, take your hands, tuck them in if you want to slow yourself down, open your body up, open your chest up. If I'm there, I go slow. Here, I'm fast. Try this out a couple of times. See if you can get it down and choose your preferred method. Now, if you're at the CAM schools, right, and you are doing this kick for judges, I'm okay with either one. Both of these kicks has their reasons and methods for doing them. If you can, the preferred method is the jump, spin, kick, and all in one motion. If you just cannot do that, feel free to do your switch kick. Still works, it's just a little bit different. All right, so those are our hook kicks today. Our hook, spin, hook, and jump, spin, hook. All our spinning heel kicks and spinning back kicks. They're a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a good time with them, and hopefully you spent a lot of time getting them down well. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.